On a seemingly ordinary day, the unthinkable occurred. Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, a symbol of resilience, came crashing down. It was March 26, 2024, a day that will forever be etched in the hearts and minds of Baltimore's citizens. What started as a typical day turned into one of catastrophe and loss as the city's iconic bridge collapsed, taking with it the lives of 6 brave construction workers. These workers, hailing from Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and the United States, were on the bridge when the unthinkable happened. A massive cargo ship, having lost power, veered off course and collided with a pillar of the bridge. The impact was cataclysmic. In an instant, the bridge crumbled, plunging the workers into the icy waters below. This was not an ordinary cargo ship. Its containers held materials potentially hazardous to human health and the environment. And with the ship's collision and subsequent sinking, these containers were now a ticking time bomb, posing a threat to marine life and the city's water supply. The authorities were quick to act, examining the containers for any potential health risks and assessing the likelihood of a fuel spill. The city of Baltimore, known for its resilience and strength, was left in shock. The collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge was not just a loss of a landmark. It was a tragedy that touched every resident. The city was in mourning, with each citizen grappling with the reality of the disaster. While the immediate aftermath was filled with chaos and sorrow, the city also faced a myriad of questions. How did the ship lose power? Was the bridge's structure compromised? And perhaps the most chilling question of all, were there sinister forces at play? Welcome to Cryptic Mystic Vault, where we explore the enigmatic tales and unsolved puzzles of history. The day's tragedy left an indelible mark on Baltimore, a city now mourning its loss and searching for answers. But as we delve deeper into this incident, we'll find that the truth is often more complex and more intriguing than fiction. In the face of disaster, Baltimore's emergency services sprang into action, marking the start of an exhaustive investigation. As the dust settled on that fateful day, the city's first responders rushed to the scene. Aided by local citizens, they plunged into the chaos, their goal to rescue and aid those affected. The area was quickly secured, and the rescue mission began. Yet, as the hours ticked on, the harsh reality of the situation sank in. The conditions were too dangerous, and the rescue mission transitioned into a recovery mission, a somber testament to the severity of the incident. Parallel to these efforts, the wheels of investigation were set in motion. The focus was twofold: to determine the cause of the collapse and to mitigate any potential health risks. The cargo ship, carrying containers that could potentially be hazardous, was thoroughly examined. Fuel spill potential was assessed, and the risk was contained swiftly, showcasing the effectiveness of Baltimore's emergency response. The cause of the collapse, however, was not as straightforward. The ship had lost power before the crash, leading it to veer off course and collide with the bridge. But why had it lost power? And why had the bridge collapsed so catastrophically? These questions lay at the heart of the investigation. Structural assessments of the bridge were conducted, and maintenance records were scrutinized. The bridge, named after the patriotic poet Francis Scott Key, had stood for years. It had weathered storms and heavy traffic, but on this day it had succumbed to an unforeseen accident. Was it simply a tragic mishap, or was there more to the story? The investigation, led by national authorities, was meticulous and thorough. Every stone was turned, every potential lead followed. The aim was not just to discover what had happened, but to ensure that such an incident never occurred again. This was a promise made to the people of Baltimore and to the families of the victims. The investigation, while still ongoing, has provided some answers, but for some, these answers are not enough. In times of crisis, human nature seeks explanations, and sometimes the official accounts just don't satisfy everyone. Enter the conspiracy theories. Following the tragic collapse of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, a vortex of speculation swirled around, fueled by a cocktail of distrust, curiosity, and the human need for answers. The theories ranged from plausible to downright fantastical, each promising a hidden truth behind the catastrophe. On one end of the spectrum, whispers of sabotage echoed. This theory suggested that the ship's sudden loss of power wasn't accidental, but a deliberate act with sinister motives. Some pointed to financial corruption, alleging the incident was orchestrated to secure hefty insurance payouts or to push for new infrastructure investments. On the more fantastical side, there were claims of alien intervention and even time-traveling saboteurs. These theories, while intriguing, often lacked any concrete evidence or coherent reasoning. Yet they found believers, testament to the allure of a good story over a hard fact. These theories spread like wildfire, tapping into the collective distrust in official accounts and the universal need for answers. But why do we gravitate towards these alternative narratives? Psychologists point to our innate tendency to find patterns, to connect dots, even where none exist. It gives us a sense of control in the face of chaotic, unpredictable events. However, when we counterpose these theories with the verified facts from the investigation and credible sources, the discrepancies become clear. The structural assessments, maintenance records, and expert analysis all point to a tragic accident, not a nefarious plot. While these theories offer an alternative narrative, they also carry the potential to distort reality, impacting not just the victims' families, but our collective understanding of the incident. The collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge has far-reaching impacts, stirring national conversations around infrastructure safety and the power of public discourse. Baltimore's traffic was thrown into disarray, forcing the city to adapt and demonstrating an impressive resilience in the face of adversity. But this isn't a local issue. It's a national concern. The bridge's failure has sparked calls for a comprehensive review of our nation's infrastructure, a wake-up call to the potential dangers lurking in our everyday commutes. It's a sobering reminder that safety is a collective responsibility. Equally noteworthy is the role of conspiracy theories in shaping our understanding of such events. These theories, although often unfounded, highlight a deep-seated distrust in official narratives, a yearning for answers that satisfies our need for clarity. They act as a mirror, reflecting societal anxieties and the struggles of a community seeking to make sense of a senseless tragedy. What happened in Baltimore is a stark reminder of our vulnerability and the importance of seeking truth amidst the chaos. For Cryptic Mystic Vault, this is just the beginning of unraveling the tangled web of facts and fiction that surrounds the Baltimore Bridge collapse.